Okay, welcome back to APAC, and we will begin our service today with our invocation by Pastor James. Good morning, APAC, and so we have a new beginning once again. We'll start our service today with our invocation, and our invocation is the time when we call on the source of all that is to join with our light energy, both in person and online, to send love and healing energy, peacefulness out into the world, to the people closest to us. So your families, your friends, your co-workers, the people you know, your neighborhood, the people in your town, the people across the world that you know that are connected to you personally. At later times during our service, we'll also do this for the rest of the world. But first, we like to start with our individual families. So after I call out a couple, then each of you in turn can call them out, and online as well, you can text it over. And we will send light energy, an accumulation, a collective, if you will, of synchronized energy to people for love and healing. So if you know someone that is in need, please call them out, and even just for your families, for their well-being, and to just wrap them, blanket them in love and healing. So let us begin. I'll start out with my family, for my daughters, Dawn and Julie, for all of my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren, and my brother and his family, and all of my cousins, and my entire family, just to wrap them in love and healing and peaceful energy. Also, my friends, my neighbors, the people that I live in the same city with, and everyone that I know across the planet. Especially my friends who have lost their children. My friend Marty Clardy, who lost her daughter Nicole. My friend Vicki Larson, who lost her son Joey. My friend Vicki Hollingsworth, who just very, very recently lost her son Tommy. And of course, my friend Diane Walcott Watson, who lost her son Hans. Please join with me and send these people energy. We will send energy at the end for everyone. So if you'll begin now to call out your people, please begin.
I would like to call out all my friends, my family, and people I've met along the way who have passed away already. Nearly all of them I'm inviting into my life to be my spirit guides, to look over my shoulder, keep me safe, keep me protected, keep me on the right path. They are always on my mind, and I hope that they always are in my life. They may be out of sight, but they are not forgotten, and they are not gone away forever. I will see them again one day.
And so be it. And by the way, Ken, as we know, we are always, always connected to all those that have ever lived, that will ever live, and that are living now. We all exist. The universal law of one says we all exist in one single energy group and will always be connected. So you are absolutely right. And we will wrap all of your family and friends and acquaintances, both previous to planet Earth and in the future. We will wrap them in love and healing and peaceful energy, and know that they are always, always with you. Thank you, Ken.
My sister Dee Dee.
Dee Dee, so be it.
My brother Daryl.
And Daryl.
I'd like to call out for my daughter. She's got a rough road, but we're doing our best to make the best of a poor situation.
Chris's daughter. Wrap her in love and healing.
All my children,
For Donna's children, Josh, Heather, and Rachel. Are there more?
I would like to call out again to all my family, my friends, my loved ones who are still here, who are still struggling on this planet Earth. I try to keep them close to me as well. Some people tend to diverge. Others tend to step away, and that's okay. They have to be where they feel comfortable. I want an invocation for all my descendants, all the descendants of my parents on both sides of the family. This lineage will continue, and I hope it is successful in every individual who comes after me.
And so be it. Thank you. Are there more? Okay, thank you. So be it. Let's. One more.
Yes, for world peace, for all the people of Ukraine, and even the citizens of Russia. I feel very strongly and sorry for them that they are subjected to what is occurring by a dictator. And it's an unjust war, and innocent people are all suffering because of one man.
Yes, all wars are unjust and harmful. Thank you. Okay, and now is the time for some introductions, in case you haven't figured it out yet. I'm Pastor Jan. Hi. Thank you. And you have joined today with APATH. We lovingly call ourselves APATH, and what APATH is All People, All Truths, House of Enlightenment. So that's APATH, there's the APATH, and then OE is of Enlightenment. So if you go to apathoe.com, you'll be on our website. And while I'm talking about our website, you can cruise around and find a whole bunch of information on all the things that we teach. You'll know where you are as soon as you get on our homepage, because it's nice and cleared up. You'll see all of our colors and great photography and artistry. Our web developers and graphic artists have worked hard and long to make our website beautiful and make anybody that lands on it know exactly where they are home. Now, we believe that in our LGBTQIA plus community, that the A stands for our allies, and we can't live in life without our allies. We are so grateful for all of the heterosexual people of the world that support our community and stand with us, that everybody is the same and equal, and fight for our equity as well as the other minorities in the world that are treated without equity and equality. So always thank you to our allies, and you're always welcome. You're part of our LGBTQI community. You are the A. So moving right along, if you're on our website, the upper right-hand corner has a donate button on our website. It's red, so it kind of stands out, and if you'd like to support our mission, please do that. We are developing lots of programs, support groups. We intend to build Dawn's House, and we want facilities all over the world so that anybody that is suffering from anything, emotional, physical dysfunction, alcohol abuse, drug abuse, sexual attack, and abuse, domestic violence, runaway teens in our community. There are way too many. One is too many, but there are many living out on the streets, teenagers who have fled from their homes or been driven from their homes because of who they are. So we intend to build group homes for their housing, where we have all this as part of our vision for our spiritual center, and a lot more programs to go with it. So we have a long way to go, and we haven't started fundraising yet, but we will begin fundraising in a couple of weeks. Until then, we are starting to take donations now. So you can go to our website and donate freely there if you like. For those of you in person, on the page, the second page of your program, there's a QR code that you can actually use your camera and get up close to it, and it will give you a little link to click on, and you click and you can go right there to donate. There's also a basket back on the coffee table. If you'd like to leave a check or cash, we're happy to take that donation too. We do not pass the plate. That's, I understand, is offensive to some people. So the plate is back there on the table, and if you're inclined, do. If you need help, please reach out to us and tell us. And if we can't give you the help, we will help you find the help. Because we're not just here for you to help us and succeed on our mission. We're here because of you, to help lift our entire community and make it a safe haven for all of us. So please join with us today spiritually with your energy, and let's do some great healing and drumming and sending of energy of love and peace and healing to the rest of the world. And next we will have our grounding and our chakra awareness with Pastor Donna.
Hello, everybody. Okay. So we're going to do our grounding and chakra a little bit different this week. I usually do just the grounding candle and
Use the other mic, please.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I would like to do this a little bit different. I'm going to combine the chakras and the grounding in one. So if everybody will stand up with me, I'm going to light the candles and call them off, tell them where they are, and I want us to imagine the brightest light possible coming from as far up as you can, coming down and go through each chakra as I light them, and then we're gonna do the grounding. So if you wanna close your eyes, whatever's comfortable, I'm just gonna kind of walk you through it. So that bright light is coming down from as far as you can see or imagine, and it comes to the top of your head through your crown chakra where that soft spot is a baby, right there. It's gonna go through your third eye, which is right in the middle of your eyebrows, down through your throat chakra, which is right at your collarbone, down through your heart chakra, through your solar plexus chakra, which is a couple inches above your belly button, through your sacral chakra, which is a couple inches below your belly button. Just imagine this pure white light going down through all these chakras. And your root chakra, which is at the base of your tailbone. And as it hits your root chakra at the base of your tailbone, just imagine that red roots shooting down through your legs, through your thighs, through your calves, through the bottom of your feet, through the floor of this building, and into Mother Earth. And as soon as you feel those roots hit Mother Earth, they just spread out in all directions, rooting you down so strongly that nothing could knock you over right now. And just feel that grounding, centered energy. Just let it be for a minute. Next, I want you to take your hand and put it over your heart. Take a nice deep breath in and let it go. And I want to set our intention for today of love. Love for yourself. Love for those in this room with us. Love for those in our community, in our country, and all around the globe. Just breathe that in, deep breath in, and exhale it out. And I ask that you just stay in this grounded, centered, loving space throughout the service, throughout the day, throughout the week. Be nice. Thank you. Okay, just kidding. Got some more good stuff to do. Okay. We'll get it done. Okay. So, at this time, we're going to light candles for our LGBTQ family. Light it for our lesbian sisters. Brothers.
A little closer to your mic, please.
Bisexuals. Transgender family.
Can't hear you.
Okay. Bisexuality, queer. Angel allies. And last but not least, this candle is going to represent all the people around the world that are suffering. Throughout all the, we have so many wildfires going on that people have lost their entire homes, their life savings, everything, their families, Canada, Maui, all the terrible storms going on. Just send love and peace and healing to all those that are suffering around the world. And we're going to do a little drumming to send all that energy.
And now we'll have to talk to Pastor Jim. Yes, it's me again. And this is the time that everybody always looks forward to on Sundays so that you can hear your pastor get up there and talk a lot. So, we've been talking, away, so I don't break my neck. I'm kind of a stage dog. We've been talking a lot about the levels of consciousness and universal law and the state of being on our path to enlightenment. And last week we talked about our ego mind. The thing that talks to us all day long, tells us how rotten we are. It is, in a nutshell, the conditioning that we have had our whole life, screaming at us, telling us what horrible humans we are and that we're doing everything wrong no matter what we do. It argues with us, it defends things, it just turns us into a kind of a sad sack on many days. And how do we avoid that? We step into the now is how we avoid it. I want to explain briefly that ego mind that talks to you is comprised of three things, and that's that voice, those are your thoughts. That's the thoughts, not yours, of that ego mind, and they are something completely separate than you are. You and your thoughts are completely two different things. Those thoughts, the reflection of those thoughts are your emotions, those things that you feel. Angry, sad, grief, hostile, violent, argumentative, controlling, desperate, all those things that are emotions, those are a reflection of those thoughts from your conditioning from your whole life. All the things that happened to you, other people did them to you, your conditioning from your parents, society, the schools, your professors, your teachers, your pastors, your priests, your reverends, your shamans, everybody that filtered into you, your neighbors, your cousins, certainly mom and dad, they start when we're this big, saying, no, don't do this, good girl, bad girl, reward, punishment, conditioning, so that we would become the people that they wanted us to be. And so we create this vision in our mind of what we're supposed to be, and of course we can't possibly live up to that because it's a fake thing, it's not real. We can't be that clone that other people are trying to make us be. And why is that? Why can't we be that successfully? Here's the reason, because that's not who we are. It's the furthest thing from truth of who we are. So our own truth is inside us. Everything we need is inside us. And when we're not being our authentic self of who we are, then we're being our phantom self of who that voice is telling us to be. When we get old enough, we don't need the rest of the world telling us who to be anymore because they've already conditioned us. We already know what we're supposed to be. So maybe we grew up to be an engineer, and what we really wanted to be was an acrobat. We wanted to dance on that high wire and entertain people, and that's what's inside us. That's what our purpose is. That's what we were born to do, but we don't do it. We might do it as a hobby on the side. But we get up every day and put our suit and tie on and go to work and be that engineer with the beautiful corner office and, driving that Lincoln, and because that's who we've been conditioned to be. So we believe that we're supposed to, and even though this thing has been tugging at us our entire life, we just live when we get on that high wire. We don't do it because we've been conditioned to go put on that suit and tie and go be that engineer. And it happens, to everyone. The only people that escape it are the ones that magically learn to question everything. The people that understand that voice, those emotions, and all the pain, which is the third thing in your ego mind, the pain, that all those things are not you. if you identify with them, then you will, for the rest of your life, try to fit yourself into that mold of who you're supposed to be in your mind, in your own vision now. And it's your own self, your phantom self, telling you every day who to be. Can you hear me clearly out there? Okay. So, in order to avoid being driven and controlled our entire lives by our thoughts, which is that voice that we all hear, our emotions, and the pain, literal pain, not just the physical pain in our body that after a while, if we don't deal with our emotions, it does cause physical pain and ailments and disease. And, we'll be limping around and sick and have all kinds of things going on if we don't deal with our emotions. And that's just a simple scientific fact. Our emotions heavily weigh into our body and our physical wellness. But I'm not even talking about so much that kind of pain. I'm talking about the pain that lives every single day of our life inside us until we do something with that pain. We've got to get rid of it in order to be free of it. So let me give you an example. When I was a kid, my mother divorced my father and got herself a girlfriend. So I'm a second generation lesbian, I'm proud to say. But honestly, their relationship was a bit dysfunctional at best and somewhat abusive. And one of the things that they fancied doing was they would line up all the 6 children of us. Each of them had 3 kids. And I was one of them, kind of in the middle there in terms of age. And they asked us who broke the whatever. And with 6 kids running around the house and 2 crazy women, there were things broken. There were things that didn't get put away. There were things that were, upset the apple cart. And that was pretty continual with 6 children and pets as well. So they'd line us all up and say, okay, who broke that dish? And of course, the 6 of us were never going to admit it because we knew what would happen if you broke something and were the bad girl or bad boy. Here comes the punishment. Well, sometimes the punishment was a good whooping. And sometimes it was, you had to go to your room and your toys were taken away, or you couldn't watch TV and you weren't allowed to go outside and play, and, the punishment, just came and came and came, and it felt like it was never going to stop. And we were kids, so what did we know? So we didn't tell the truth. I don't think any of us told the truth because we didn't want that punishment. So one of the things they did was say, okay, you're all lying, nobody's telling the truth, so now you're going to eat raw garlic. So they made us, these little kids, have a clove of garlic and you had to chew it up in your mouth. And if nobody still told the truth, you had to, and back then there was no such thing as Pepsi or Coke. There was a soda man that brought the syrups and the salsa water. And so, the parents mixed it all up and gave you your soda like that. So they made what would now be a Coke or a Pepsi, and they'd make a glass of that, and you'd have to hold it in your mouth with the garlic. And it felt like your brain was going to explode. You were going. And that was to try to get us to tell the truth. And then the next phase of that punishment was if you admitted that you did something, you would, get a good whooping, maybe go to bed for the day, whatever the punishment was, depending on the severity of the offense. And we learned very quickly, they put us in this little box and we knew what to say, and what we didn't say was the truth because nobody wanted those punishments. Everybody wanted to avoid it, so then they counteracted with that garlic to try to force us. So before they do it, I'd say, I did it, because honestly, to me, the whooping and the going to bed or not watching TV or whatever that was way better than that garlic. To this day, I can't eat garlic. Every time I smell it, I get an ill reaction from it. My stomach starts turning, and honestly, I've been through lots of therapy, and I'm way past that childhood abuse that I suffered over, with garlic, for gosh sakes. But that pain body lives on inside me. And it's activated, triggered, if you will, every time I smell garlic. If I hear the word garlic, I automatically start thinking about it. I don't think about what happened back then when I was 7 or 8 or 9, or all those ages. I think about, the smell of garlic. I hate garlic. That's where I go immediately, and I'm not even conscious of why I hate garlic so much, why I'm so appalled by its presence on the planet. I just don't want any part of it. If I go in a restaurant and it smells like garlic, I do this, and I go right back out again. Same in somebody's home. I'm like, no, I gotta get out of here. Because the smell literally makes me ill. That's the activation of that pain. And I like to say the pain body. We have all these little pain bodies living inside us from different things that happened in our life. Bad experiences, things people did to us, things we did to other people. And they are lying dormant most of the time. If you get a person that is just angry and emotional all the time, their pain body is alive about 100% of the time. And all those pain bodies are joining together and triggering each other. And then they're just kind of a maniac all the time. We know them, we see them, we come in contact with them, they're just always angry. You can't say anything to them without triggering them. And sometimes you just have to be there and they'll still be triggered. You don't have to do anything. Maybe it's because you're wearing a color that reminds them of a horrible experience. Your hair is reminding them of someone that did something to them. Just the location of where you are has triggered them, and they won't even be conscious of what it is or that they're even being triggered. They have no idea that all these hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands of little tiny pain bodies that crop up. If we haven't done the good therapy, we've not done anything with them, they're all still rolling around inside us. And even though I have done the therapy on the garlic multiple times, it's not completely gone. The trauma of all that feels very gone to me. I can talk about it. It doesn't make me, like it did years ago when I told that story, I would just be hysterical, because it was so painful to me going through that. And all of my siblings were going through the same thing, so it was very traumatic for a little kid, and you grow up and you still have that trauma, and that pain, that terror of what was going to happen to you. So I smell garlic. Now I don't have all that trauma going on, but I still can't stand garlic, don't want to smell it, and it literally makes me nauseous. My stomach starts turning, and I just got to get away from it. I don't want to smell garlic. God forbid I ever in my life met a lesbian that smelled like garlic. I'd be like, get away from me. That couldn't happen. In fact, my wife used to eat garlic. And I'd be like, oh, no. So, there's no garlic allowed in our house, but I don't control her, I just control the garlic smell. But, if she wants to eat garlic, she's got to go out of the house and do it, and then somehow cleanse herself. Or she's got to go sleep on the couch, because she's not coming in bed with me with that garlic. Because then, I'm not sleeping or anything else in bed. So it's not just me. Every one of us have these little tiny attachments to those pain bodies within us. And what happens, we identify with them. I just did. I said, I have this pain body that is because of this, my trauma when I was a little kid, and here I am still talking about it today. I'm 70 years old, for gosh sakes. And I'm talking about why I hate garlic, and I'm telling the truth. So, do I think that I am that voice that tells me I hate garlic? That emotion that I have around the garlic? Or that pain, that nausea, and this is the physical pain I feel, so at least I'm down to the physical. The emotional, not so much. I'm not very emotional about it. It's something that happened. I couldn't control it. I was a kid, and I'm good with it. Not so good that they did it, but that's on them. That's not, that's not on me. And I don't hear a voice anymore talking about it. What I do know is, I do hear the voice when it says, "Oh, garlic, get out of here. You hate garlic. Remember the garlic? You're going to be sick in a minute." So I'm trucking on out of there because it is a negative, but I just instantly identify with it and I get the heck out of there. My bad. So what I need to do in order to overcome that is be in the now, be present in the moment, not identify with that pain, but instead say, here I am, and there that pain is. I can recognize that pain. I can call out that pain and say, there's that pain, and here I am, and the two of us are different. I'm not identifying with that pain anymore. I'm just a watcher of that pain. So I acknowledge that it exists. I know it's there. And as soon as I watch that pain and acknowledge that pain and just don't think about it, let it be there, it's fine, it exists, it happened, I can't change it. The pain goes instantly away. It goes away. Because I'm not identifying with it anymore. I am me, and that garlic pain is that garlic pain. It has nothing to do with me. I didn't cause it. I don't make myself be nauseous. That pain will make me be nauseous. So that pain's over there, and here I am over here. So when I smell garlic and it activates, and I start feeling that nausea, I say, there's that nausea, and here I am. I'm going to watch that nausea, and it can't take me over because I'm not that pain. I'm not that nausea. I'm not that garlic smell. I don't have to be that because I'm me. I'm just a watcher of that pain. And therefore, I'm free of it. And you know what? In a moment, that nausea is gone. I could probably stay in those restaurants or in that house or whatever, and a year or so ago, now I need to start eating a little bit of garlic here and there. Just a little, but little at a time. I have been, maybe it's been 2 years now since I've been starting to taste it a little, and just a little tiny bit. Ranch dressing, I pour milk in it and stir it up and water it down so it doesn't have so much garlic in it, and I actually like it on, zucchini. I love to dip zucchini in that. It's delicious. But I can't eat it just the way it comes. I have to water it way down so that it's got a little garlic in it, but not enough. And then I just say, okay, I am not that nausea. I am not that pain. I am me, Jan, and that pain is over there, and I'm over here, and never the twain shall meet. As soon as we recognize that there's the pain, and here I am, and I'm the watcher of the pain, not the pain itself. I don't identify with it anymore. A magical thing happens, and that pain goes away. Now, this is true with pretty much everything in our life, if not everything in our life. The one exception possibly is grief. Grief doesn't really ever go away. We grow accustomed to it. We learn how to live with it. We learn how to live through it. But it doesn't go away, and it doesn't really get better. We just get used to it. We build the muscle to carry that grief with us. Unlike the other pain of things people did to us, things we did to people, our conditioning, all of our experiences, we've had some traumatic stuff go on in our life. Started with those bullies on the playground, calling us names, and especially if we looked or acted or knew that we were queer back then. Oh my goodness, did we get it? Did we not get that? Oh my goodness. And I think gay guys maybe got it worse than the rest of us back then, because nobody even knew what transgender was back then. And butch lesbians, I think, got it almost as much as gay men. The gay men were sissies on the playground and, got swirlies and dragged into the bathrooms, and they were always teased and beat up and treated poorly by, the good macho football players and, all the other guys that professed at least to be straight guys. kind of the same thing happened with lesbians, butch lesbians, because I stood out in the crowd. Everybody knew, or I thought they did anyway, and they treated me differently. I remember when I was, kindergarten, first grade, we were out on the playground, and the little girls were saying, "Ooh, look at that cute little boy." And I was saying, "Oh, check out the sister." And true story. And I did hide these things kind of back then. I knew that whatever my mother was, and they were severely in the closet, because this was way back in the day, and you didn't dare be a lesbian and kind of live through that in your own neighborhood. And I grew up in New York, out on Long Island. So they were in the closet, and because I saw their dysfunction and the abuse, I thought it was all connected to their being a lesbian. I didn't know the word lesbian, and I didn't know any word to put on that, but I knew that whatever was going on with my mother and her girlfriend was me. I could recognize in her that I had that same thing in me. I didn't know then that I was just recognizing and connecting to her lesbianism. I didn't have that understanding. So I thought all that dysfunction and abuse went along with it. And so when I got old enough, I left home and I went through therapy and overcame all that. So that I had an understanding that lesbianism and all that abuse and everything are two completely different things. So I no longer identified as that, I had to grow up to be this abusive, crazy lesbian. So I knew that didn't have to be in my future. And that was one of the best things that I ever did in my younger years, was learning that, because I was hiding back then because I didn't want to be that. So I didn't want to be who I truly was, because I was afraid I was going to grow up and be like crazy. I didn't want that. So I was avoiding being who I was until I went through therapy, and thankfully that happened at an early age. I wasn't quite done being a teenager yet. I hadn't reached 20, and I was in therapy on my own because I was outside of the house and I knew I had this issue, and I sought out and had therapy so that I could learn how to overcome this, or what I was going to do about it, so that I could actually be myself, my authentic self, and be who I am. So after that therapy, and I'm not sure that I did it much during that, because I was still me every day. How do you hide being butch, right? It's how does a feminine gay guy hide being feminine? It's the same thing in reverse. So, who you are is who you are, and what you see is what you get from me. And I think I was always like that. But I look back at pictures and stuff, and I see times in my life I tried to fend myself up and be that phantom self, because I was hearing that voice, not only that voice, but I was hearing it from people, about, oh, that's terrible, and, all those lesbians, if there were any lesbians around besides my parents, then they were getting the same treatment. So everybody was in hiding and lying, and I grew up with my mother and her girlfriend saying they were sisters. And so we had to call her girlfriend aunt, and we had to say we were cousins with her kids. And everybody believed that lie. So I grew up in a home of liars, and they were literally traumatizing us, making us be liars too. All 6 kids grew up having to lie every day about who we were and who they were. Therapy got me out of that, and I understood, question everything. You don't have to take on other people's truths, other people's dogma, society's beliefs and opinions. You don't have to take it on yourself. My answer to everything is question everything. Question me. Don't believe a word I say. Google it. Go read. Go talk to a therapist. Try to find a good spiritual therapist so you get both ends of the coin. Therapists teach you how to deal with that voice in your head, with those thoughts, with that ego mind. That's what therapists do, is teach you how to think about those thoughts, how to deal with them, how to think better about all the situations in your life. That's what therapists do. And that's all good and well. What they don't teach you is anything about living in the now, and that is the one true answer. You know, enlightenment, I think, is best described as the absence of suffering. And I think that's not questioned. Around the planet, I think everybody believes that definition is the closest that we can come to being accurate as to what enlightenment is. It's the absence of suffering. When we have no suffering, we are enlightened. And our vibration is somewhere between 700 and 1,000. And when we reach peace, that's 600 to 699. That's the doorway, the threshold of enlightenment. And until we get there, we have all these pain bodies going on with us that are activated. They may lay dormant for years. Later this afternoon, I might be triggered by some color, some smell, some person, some hairdo, some words, some attitude. It might trigger something somebody else did to me, or something I did to someone else. And if I identify with that, I'm going to be traumatized by it. That pain body is going to be activated. It's going to squirt out all over me. I'm going to be really ugly. And then it's going to squirt out all over everyone around me. My wife would probably get the worst butt kicking because, we're together all the time. She's my wife. And, then maybe my child and my grandchildren, who knows, my friends, because it squirts out of us uncontrollably, the ugly, the nasty, the smart aleck attitude, the insensitivity, the carelessness, the anger, even frustration and anxiety. All of those things are the pain bodies squirting out of us, all of ourselves, drenching us in that, and then squirting out over whoever comes near us. That's what happens. That's what happens with all of that conditioning, all of those thoughts, and that voice never ending telling us over and over again how bad we're being, or what we've done, or it'll tell us about the past, and it'll make us worry about the future. What's going to happen about this? Oh, I got to think about this. And so time of the past and time of the future, that's where our pain bodies live and thrive, and they feed off of each other. One triggers the next, and we just go crazy with it. So the one thing that we can do to get away from those past pain bodies and the thought of those future pain bodies, because that's really what our lives are about, what has happened and what's going to happen in the future. That's where we're focused. 99% of all people on the planet, a little higher than that actually, are focused on these things. And what is it called? It's only one emotion. It's called fear. Fear. Everything. Almost all the people on the planet. There's 8 billion people on the planet. 1/10 of 1% live in the now. They're enlightened humans. They're somewhere between 600 and 1,000 in a vibrational field of the levels of consciousness. 1/10 of 1% have made it there. Everybody else on the planet is living with fear, in fear. How do you know? You probably don't recognize a lot of it as fear. Need to be right. Fear is a vibration of 100, by the way. So it's not shame that's 20, or guilt that's 30, or grief that's 75. It's a little higher than all that. But 100 is a really low level of consciousness. When we're talking about enlightenment, is 700 to 1,000. And we got a long way to go between that 100 and that 600 where you're finally at peace. That's a lot of consciousness. And if you believe that we keep coming back till we get it right in this life, which I believe, then you believe that karma goes through with you, and your level of consciousness, the next time you're reborn, you'll be right there wherever you left off. So if you left off with the need to be right, And this happens, you can see it all over the earth, and it's especially prevalent in this political climate that we live in today. This dissension and ugliness and a world of untruths, where there's a such thing as, I can't think of the name of it, it's the opposite of truth. It was the big political thing, they called it something else, I can't think of it right now, but anyway, where there's some other version of the truth. And there is no other version of the truth. There's only one truth about anything. One thing is true and the rest of it are fictional. There's not, oh, this is true and then this is also true. No, that's not real. That's just a fake thing. So in order to learn to not have to be right, that's a part of fear. And because fear lives inside of us until we don't let it anymore, because of that, a sound reverb, because that fear is living inside of us, it squirts out of us in a lot of ways, and that need to be right. I'll tell you what, that fear, that ego mind is fearful of going away forever. It's fearful of you not identifying with it. It's fearful of you becoming aware that you're different than that ego mind, and you don't have to go along with any of that stuff. You can just recognize it, be aware that it's there, say, yeah, that's over there, and I'm over here, and never the twain shall meet. That ego mind is fearful every day of your life that it's going to be exposed and done away with. That is the fear of death of your ego mind. And 99.9% of the whole planet lives in fear. So whoever you meet, you can pretty much trust that they're living in fear, because the numbers are really good on that side, that they are living in fear. They haven't learned yet that they don't have to be right. They don't have to live in fear. There is no fear in the now, because you don't have to be feeling the shame and the horror and the guilt of whatever happened in the past. And you don't have to be worrying about what might happen in the future, because that past really factors in what we think about what might happen in the future. That's how we judge it. So in the now, when you focus on being, you will find all your answers are within you. You don't have to go anywhere for your answers, because you already have them all. Not only that, but you'll find a joy and peace that is actually real. It's not pleasure. Pleasure is what you get from things that are not truth and real. There are other external things outside of you. Joy and peace and unconditional love are the things that are real, that we strive for. That's what we all want. We just don't know how to get there and get it, because we're too busy using all those pleasurable things and pretending that that's love and that's joy and that's peace. No, it's not, because those are external. You can't get love and happiness and joy and peace from that new color TV you bought, or that cute yellow Jeep. That's not happiness. That's having pleasure from the external things in our life, all of those material things. And the immaterial, that are people and what have you, those are external pleasures. The internal things are joy and love and peace. And that's what lives inside us, and that's what we experience when we're in the now. Because when we're in the present moment, it's impossible for us to think about the past. We don't think about it, we don't feel it, we don't know it, we're not having the pain from it, and it's impossible for us to worry about and dwell on what might happen in the future. We're living in the now. If nothing's going on that we need to pay attention to, we focus on our breathing. We feel our breath going in, we feel the air going into our lungs and expanding them. We hold that breath for a moment. That's the quiet, stillness place where all of our answers lie. And then we exhale. When we walk, We focus on we're stepping, what is connected to us under the ground. Mother Earth is down there. We can feel those roots going down. We can ground ourselves to Mother Earth. We can do a whole bunch of things to stay in the now. And whenever those thoughts or emotions or pains pop up, and they will, you say, there's that voice, and here I am. There's that emotion, and here I am. And there's those pain bodies, and here I am. I am not those things. I am not my ego mom. That is just a thing that exists from everything that has happened in the past. All my conditioning and all my pain and suffering, that's it. That's there, and here I am. We're two different things. So I'm aware of it. I recognize it, and I don't have to go along with it. I don't have to let it make me worry about what might happen in the future because it's already happened to me in the past, and it might even be worse in the future. I know how that goes. So, recognize it, be aware of it, understand what it is, and continue living in the now. That is the definition of enlightenment. Your suffering is gone when you're living in the now. You know how it is. You're in the middle of a bad breakup. Everything is terrible, you're crying, you're thrashing around in bed, you're eating all the ice cream in the house and stuffing yourself with cake and trying to find comfort wherever you find it. And then all of a sudden your buddy calls and says, hey, you want to do the blah? No, I know. Well, I'm coming over. And then here they come, and in the next minute you're, whatever you're doing, telling stories of the past, probably bashing on all your exes, doing whatever you got to do. Maybe he or she's eating some ice cream with you and the cake, and just helping you thrash around and get through it. And the next, you're not even paying any attention to any of that. You're living in the now right there, and you're not paying any attention of it. And all of a sudden, you're feeling so much better. And then the buddy goes, and then you're there with your thoughts again, and that's the next thing. Susie's gone. Oh my God, she's gone, and I'm alone. I'm never going to be loved again. You know, it jumps right back on us. So if you say, yeah, there's that pain, there's those thoughts, there's that emotion, and here I am, we're not the same. I'm going to go back to living in the moment and doing whatever is happening right now, be my authentic self, do what I know I'm supposed to do, and just be who I am. That's the key of life. Live in the now. Be aware. Focus on your breath. When all else fails, just go right back to saying, and be right there present in that. While you eat, while you sit, while you walk, while you talk, whatever you're doing, focus on that moment. Pay close attention. You know what? You're going to be a better lover for it. You're going to be a better friend, a better mother, a better father, a better grandparent, a better everything in your life. Your work is going to be better, and you're going to find who you really are and who you really want to be, because you have the absence of suffering. Suffering does not make the world go round. Unconditional love does. That's what we all want. We all want to love, and we all want to be loved. Not those fake relationships. You thought you knew them, and the next thing you know, they're a monster. How is he or she talking to me like that? Why would they treat me like that? I just don't understand. Phantom self. They've got the same thing going on that everybody else has got going on. They have all those ugly little pain bodies, and right now that's squirting out all over you. That's why you are where you are. This may or may not have been the one. But trust me, the one is out there. I know. Because I have my one. And it took me most of my life to get there. But we've been together 17 years. And this is why. Namaste, my friends. Be well. Go safe.
Okay, let's go to meditation. If I can have you sit up straight in your chairs, feet planted on the ground, close your eyes. We're going to find that quiet space in between the breaths. Take a deep breath in, feel your lungs. Hold it. And let it out. Take a deep breath in. Hold it. And let it out. Deep breath in. Hold it. And let it out. Deep breath in. Hold it. And let it out. Deep breath in. Hold it. And let it out. Couple more. Deep breath in. Hold it. And let it out. Deep breath in. Hold it. And let it out. Last one. Nice deep breath in. And exhale it all out. Keep that peaceful feeling with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Pastor now. Okay, now is the time in our service for our benediction. So everybody please rise and repeat after me. Peace to my brothers.
Peace to my brothers.
Peace to my sisters.
Peace to my sisters.
Peace to my siblings.
Peace to my siblings.
Peace to the whole world.
Peace to the whole world.
And peace to me.
Peace to me.
Thank you. Namaste. Please stay with us for our drum circle. And if you'll, for those of you in person and those of you online who already know this, if you will turn to the third page in your program, I will teach you a couple basic drum lessons. So this is the methodology of if you can say it, you can play it. Much easier than taking drum lessons for the rest of your life and trying to learn how to carry a good beat. But if you can't do any of them, just beat whatever you can. You can use an old pot and a spoon. You can certainly use your body. The body's just a musical instrument. All you got to do is pound away if you don't have anything else to pound on. Drumming affects about 20 spots in your brain. It makes us healthier. It gets rid of anxiety and worry and fear and all those ugly things. It makes us peaceful and kind, and it helps us focus on whatever it is we're trying to do. In this case, sending love and healing energy and peacefulness all around the world. So here's the beats. If there's two beats, normally somebody would be sitting here, our music director, if you were here today, would hold up two fingers, and that would be the Mother Earth's heartbeat. If there were three beats, it would be hot chocolate, hot chocolate, hot chocolate, hot chocolate, hot chocolate. Four beats, mashed potatoes, mashed potatoes, mashed potatoes, mashed potatoes. Five beats, I love apple pie. I love apple pie. I love apple pie. Six beats, I love to play my drum. I love to play my drum. I love to play my drum. And then the universal beat is 8 beats, chocolate, milk, and potato chips. Chocolate, milk, and potato chips. 9 beats, we're getting into the complex rhythms now. Won't you come with me on vacation? Won't you come with me on vacation? Won't you come with me on vacation? And 10 beats, alligators don't walk well on leashes. Alligators don't walk well on leashes. Alligators don't start, and you can alternate them. You can start with one, go to another one. If someone wants to carry on that heartbeat and just do the 2, that would be an amazing thing, and that would be the basic beat for the rest of us. Please join in online. Thank you. Go safe and manifest what you will.